The Modi-led Indian government has been accused of confining the residents of Delhi slum areas in an attempt to hide the poor conditions of the people during the G20 summit. Behind green sheets, Modi accused of hiding poverty during G20 summit. Indian journalist posted a video of the people living in the area which was covered with green sheets amid the G20 summit in the capital city of India. The residents accused the government of attempting to hide their true conditions from the world leaders and disturb their daily lives by not allowing them to get out of their homes or go to work. Social media commentators called it a blatant attempt to show a face of India which was not real, and that the government, instead of eradicating poverty, was trying to hide them from the world behind curtains. Analyst Ashok Swain dubbed the government's action as jailing the poor people living in Delhi behind green curtains. A commentator on X said that India is a place where the most primitive and unfair life is going on. Apartheid ruling depending on caste system is alive there, he wrote. Another commentator said that hiding poverty is not the solution. They are not even the dirt poor portion of India. Inconvenient truth is majority of Indians are dirt poor, he added. The bulldozers and government officials arrived just before dawn, tearing down the row of shanties as its bewildered residents watched inconsolably nearby. The government justified the demolitions by saying the structures are illegal, and has said it intends to rehome some of the affected communities. But activists have questioned the timing, claiming instead that the demolitions are part of a beautification project, a campaign to rid the city of its beggars and slums, to impress foreign dignitaries. The image of India that Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to project at the G20 is one of a modern superpower, a leader of the global south, and a voice for impoverished nations. But the government has been accused of hiding one of the country's own most entrenched and enduring problems. What strikes me most is that India, the Indian state, is ashamed of ostensible poverty, said Harsh Mander, a social activist who works with homeless families and street children. It doesn't want poverty to be visible to the people who come here. In a written response in Parliament in July, the Indian government denied any links between the demolitions of homes and the G20 summit. Press has reached out to the New Delhi and federal governments but is yet to receive a response. Why now? Delhi has long been a city of glaring disparities. It's a city where millionaires live in gleaming mansions next to homeless families on footpaths nearby, and where children sell toys to passengers in cars as they stop at traffic lights. It's a city that attracts tremendous business, yet the demand for jobs grows increasingly acute. Around 16 million people live in the capital, according to the latest government census from 2011, but only 23.7% of them live in planned or approved neighborhoods, according to a report by the New Delhi-based think tank, Center for Policy Research. The rest live in designated slums, villages, and unauthorized neighborhoods. In April, Savita and her 4 daughters watched in despair as government authorities drove into their settlement, an unauthorized neighborhood, next to the 14th-century Tughlaqabad Fort, an iconic Delhi monument, breaking down their small home and reducing 7 years of memories to rubble. I can't explain how distraught everyone was as they bulldozed the homes, Savita said. People were screaming, crying, begging them to stop. The Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, which carried out the demolitions, claims Savita and her neighbors had encroached on the land and illegally constructed their homes, according to court documents seen by CNN. In a notice to the residents in January, the ASI directed all encroachers to remove illegal constructions at their own cost within a period of 15 days, court documents show. The ASI did not respond to requests for comment. Homeless and hungry. More than 100,000 residents living in the Tughlaqabad area lost their homes in April, according to a Supreme Court petition filed by a lawyer assisting the residents. With nowhere to go and no money to rent an apartment, many including Savita's family had no choice but to live under tarpaulin sheets on the rugged land, even as torrential rains and floods battered the city. In the daytime, they begged policemen nearby for some bread to share between the 6 of them. On one occasion at night, she said, men tried to snatch her neighbor's daughter, pulling the screaming teen into the dark woods. We endured this hardship for 6 weeks, Savita said through tears. Forced to study next to mounds of garbage as stray dogs and cows rummaged through decaying food. Her daughters struggled with their schoolwork, becoming depressed and withdrawn. This isn't the first time that an Indian government has carried out slum or shanty demolitions ahead of a large-scale international event. In 2010, when the now opposition Indian National Congress was in power, beggars were forced to move from the streets of New Delhi and slums were destroyed in the lead-up to the Commonwealth Games, upending the lives of tens of thousands in the capital. Leader of the Global South. Since assuming the presidency of the G20 this year, India, the world's new most populous nation of 1.4 billion, has positioned itself as a leader of emerging and developing nations, often referred to as the Global South, at a time when consumers are being hammered by soaring food and energy prices as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Modi sees India as a confident and modern superpower, a voice for the voiceless seizing the 21st century. Last month, India celebrated successfully conducting a soft moon landing, becoming only the fourth country in the world to achieve such a feat. Speaking to Congress during a highly publicized trip to the United States in June, Modi said, "Giving a voice to the Global South is the way forward." As war continues to throw the global economy into chaos, India has signaled an intention to raise the many concerns faced by the Global South, including climate challenges and food and energy security. The world looks upon the G20 to ease the challenges of growth, development, economic resilience, disaster resilience, financial stability, transnational crime, corruption, terrorism, and food and energy security, Modi said in February. However, activists point out the irony in that image, when India's poorest are struggling at home. People are dying on the streets in the cold winter and we are demolishing homes, Mander said. There must be a fundamental right to life, to live with dignity.